In this video, I'm going to teach you all how to make a simple and efficient Minecraft Bedrock mob and XP farm. This farm produces a lot of XP. It also produces a ton of great loot such as arrows, bones, rotten flesh, and gunpowder. The materials list for this farm is in the description. The first step is to choose an area to make this farm at. You can make this farm over land, however I recommend that you make it over an ocean. By the way, don't make this farm over a river biome. That is because mobs won't spawn in river biomes. If you choose to make this farm over land, first build up about 130 blocks above land. If you choose to make this farm over an ocean, first go at least 130 blocks away from any land. Once you are at least 130 blocks away from any land, go down to the ocean floor. Then place solid blocks from the ocean floor to the ocean surface. You can use any solid block that you want. A couple examples of solid blocks are smooth stone or wood planks. Once you're done with that step, build up 130 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you're done building up 130 blocks, go back down here. Then place ladders from here to the top of this pillar. By making this farm high in the air, you'll prevent mobs from spawning below it while you use it. That will cause more mobs to spawn in the farm. After you're done with that step, place a block over here and 2 blocks over here. Then place 5 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now fill in this outline with solid blocks. The next step is to replace these 4 blocks with hay bales. Those hay bales will prevent mobs from dying of fall damage in this farm. The next step is to place a piston at each of these spots. Make sure those pistons face the correct directions. Then place a redstone torch at each of these spots. After you have done that, it is time to place the observers. Make sure the top arrow of each observer faces the correct direction. It's really important that you place all your pistons, observers, and redstone torches correctly. The next step is to place 4 blocks over here, 3 over here, and 3 over here as well. Now throw a trident at that piston. By the way, the trident can have any level of durability because it will never break in this farm. Then place a lever over here and flick it down. Once the pistons stop moving, flick it up. As you guys can see there, that should cause the pistons to move around infinitely. That will be the trident killer in this farm. It will automatically kill all the mobs. Now flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. At this point, place 4 glass blocks over here, and a layer of solid blocks like this. Now go down here. Then count down 4 blocks from this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then place 2 blocks over here, and 4 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now crouch down and place 2 chests over here. Then crouch down and place a hopper at this spot. Make sure the nozzle of that hopper is pointing downwards towards that chest. Then crouch down and place a rail over here. By the way, it does not matter what direction the rail is facing. Then place a minecart with hopper over here. That minecart with hopper should be under a hay bale. Then place a solid block at each of these spots. That will be the collection system in this farm. The minecart with hopper will collect all the drops. The drops will then get funneled down by that hopper into that chest. At this point, place a torch at each of these spots. Those torches will prevent mobs from spawning on those areas. The next step is to place a solid block at each of these spots. The next step is to place 28 solid blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After you have placed those 28 blocks, go down here. Then place 28 blocks at each of these other spots as well. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place a solid block at each of these spots. Then place 8 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 blocks over here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you have created that outline, fill it in with solid blocks. Once you're done with that step, create a 2-block high wall around this platform. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place 2 blocks over here. Then place 4 slabs like this. Now place 7 blocks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 blocks in this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you have created that outline, fill it in with solid blocks. Once you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to create a 3-block high wall around this platform. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to go over here. Then place 7 scaffolding over here. And 7 over here as well. In this farm, mobs will spawn under that scaffolding. Then place 7 blocks over here. And 7 over here as well. After you have done that, break these 2 blocks. Then place 2 stairs over here. Now repeat making sections like that until you get to that side. Once you're done with that step, build the same thing on this side. Place scaffolding, solid blocks, and stairs. Once you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. By the way, the reason why there are walls between the scaffolding is to prevent spiders from clogging the farm. At this point, go over here. Then create an infinite water source. After you have done that, place water over here. That water should flow like that. It will push mobs that fall into that trench down there. Then place water in every stair. Once you're done with that step, that water should flow like that. The water above the scaffolding will push mobs that spawn under the scaffolding over here. At this point, create a roof over those 2 sides. After you're done with that step, the farm should look like that. The next step is to place solid blocks behind all the stairs. Once you have done that, place slabs on the blocks behind the stairs. The blocks will prevent light from going through the stairs so that this farm stays dark. That will allow mobs to spawn even when it is daytime. The slabs will prevent mobs from spawning outside the farm. At this point, the farm should look like that. This is the first mob spawning layer in this farm. Mobs will spawn under the scaffolding. They'll then get pushed by the water streams over to this trench. The next step is to create 2 more mob spawning platforms. Each mob spawning platform should be exactly the same as the first one. Once you're done creating those 2 more mob spawning layers, the farm should look like this. As you guys can see here, those 2 mob spawning layers are exactly the same as this first one. At this point, fill in and break the infinite water source. Now fill in this area with solid blocks. After you have done that, cover the roof with slabs. These slabs will prevent mobs from spawning on the roof. I'm now going to do a quick fly around so you can check and make sure I've made this mob farm correctly. Over here, there should be the trident killer and collection system. Over here, there should be the center tube. Up here, there should be the mob spawning layers. Make sure there are blocks and slabs behind all the stairs. Here's what the inside should look like. By the way, it should be dark in here. The reason why it looks bright right now is because I have night vision. Down there should be the water stream that leads towards the kill chamber. Finally, the sides should have the mob spawning layers. This is how dark the farm should normally be. It needs to be dark for mobs to spawn. I am now going to show you all how to use this farm. To use it, first flick this lever up and stand over here. Then just wait. Mobs will spawn under the scaffolding and get pushed by the water streams into the trench. The trench will then push them over to this kill chamber. In this trident killer, all the mobs will get automatically killed. You will collect the XP over here and the loot will get funneled down into the collections chest. If you want to make this farm more efficient, you can hold the sword that is enchanted with looting 3. The looting 3 effect will be applied to the tridents. This farm is a great quick and easy way to get a ton of loot and XP. Whenever you're done using this farm, flick this lever down to shut the trident killer off. You can collect the loot down here. If this farm does not work for you, try switching your world difficulty to peaceful and then to hard. Also, try setting your world simulation distance to 4 chunks. You can do that by leaving your world and going into the world settings. If you made this farm over land, check to see if any mobs spawn below the farm while you're standing up here. If mobs spawn on the land below the farm while you're standing up here, cover that land with torches. Also, make sure the inside of the farm is dark. It should look like this. If your farm is not dark, make sure there are solid blocks behind all the stairs. I hope you all enjoyed learning how to make this simple and efficient automatic Minecraft Bedrock mob and XP farm. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out more other Minecraft videos. Thanks for watching.